April 26th meeting of Health and Education Committee. Our first order of business is to approve the minutes from our last meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Health Department? Hello, Ms. Garrett. Hello. Okay. What are you looking at first reading?
I guess my monthly report first. So we did a couple more of those poverty simulations that we talked about last time for our community outreach that we were working on. We've been gearing up and learning all we can about Zika. And there's a community meeting in Nashville where we're going to hear from some leaders and learn some. So that is this week. So I'll come back and tell you what kind of advice they gave us. I know mostly they're telling us now to make sure you, just like normal mosquito patrol, kind of make sure you don't have any buckets of water or standing water. Those kinds of things on your property is one of the #1 preventative things. Dusk and dawn is a bad time to go out with mosquitoes. We have not had any cases of natural Zika or even the mosquito that carries the Zika in Tennessee. We've had 2 people in Tennessee that have had the Zika virus, but they were both traveled outside the country and brought that in. So that's sort of been on our radar right recently, learning and answering questions from the public and learning all I can to know about it. And
What about water barrels?
yes.
Can you put oil or something on top of those, keep the mosquitoes from breeding in those water barrels?
That's a good question. When I go talk to the experts this week, I'll ask them for sure, because I'm not really sure the answer to that. I know that anywhere there's standing water, I even learned that like when you have a boat and you have a tarp over it, you know, that sometimes
Yeah.
I hadn't even thought of that. We have a boat and I hadn't even thought about that as a place. So there's anywhere there's just a little standing water kind of draws them in. So
A lot of times somebody's gutters that haven't been cleaned out well have pockets of water in the gutters.
Yeah, that's
and
true,
they'll be
too.
right there, right outside the door. So.
yeah.
Because the Zika virus in any of the surrounding states to us,
No, none naturally brought. There's been some cases, but they were brought in from international travel.
but
Yes.
there's, that's been any. I thought there'd been some in Florida, so there's nothing in the United States at all yet. Then.
Not in the surrounding us. I'd have to check about Florida.
Yeah, I was
I'm not for
maybe
sure.
down
Yeah,
there. Scary stuff.
yeah, it is. And like I said, trying to learn all I can so I can give y'all good information, give the public good information. So as I learn more, I'll keep you in the know.
Well, I know one of my barrels, I got 3. One of my barrels, it's got a screen over it and the lid screws down on it.
Uh-huh.
But they still could get in through the screen wire.
Yeah.
But the other 2 are open top. One of
Is
them's
this for animals or what are you using the
my
water?
garden,
Oh, for your, okay.
and it's full of frogs.
Maybe.
It is.
Yeah, that's true.
In fact, frog.
I just can't be on the phone at night time and because the frogs are so loud out there.
Wow,
And
that is a
they're
lot.
about the size of your thumb.
Really?
Mhm.
Interesting.
Okay, back to the report.
Sorry.
Thanks,
Ms. Chairman.
We kind of get us back out of the weeds.
Literally, I'm here
Literally,
today.
yeah. Are there any more questions from Ms. Garrett?
Move to approve the report, Madam Chairman.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Very good, thank you. Okay.
Okay, and so I have my budget request sheets that I've given to you guys to present and then move on to the next phase.
Okay.
And so I believe there's 4. And if I sent the PDF in right, hopefully 55110 is first. But if not, we can move
Yeah.
around. Okay? Is that easy enough for y'all found it?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the pure county part of my budget, all funded by the county. Not asking for any overall increase, just moved some stuff around. We had, on our contracted services, we had 2 vendors there that have slightly gone up on their cost of operating. So I always call them and ask, what's the price gonna be for this service to make sure I've taken into effect if they're gonna go up. So one of them was the and I talked to y'all about it a couple of meetings ago, the mail machine, the postage machine, that service was going up a little bit. And then our biomedical waste disposal is going up slightly. We have some medical drugs and medical supplies that we purchase for the clinic. And we have started a new program at the health department called Certified Diabetes Education Program. And we sent our staff through, they actually self-funded themselves to go to become certified diabetic educators, an RN and an RD. And they have to do a certain amount of continuing education on that. So we wanted to take some of that money. Ms. Nolan said it would be better labeled if we labeled it staff and insurance. So just moving a little bit of money from the medical supplies, it's just $500 down to help them get that continuing education that they need, because that's a really great program for our residents to have access to. And they really are diabetes experts. They do community stuff plus patient clinic stuff as well. Should I go over all of them or one at a time, or?
Just the ones that have any real significant changes.
Okay. And then the next one is the dental 55160, no change there, asking for the same there for our dental. And the next one is 55170, and this is grant dollar money that we get from the state tobacco settlement. Thank you. The words left my brain. Tobacco settlement dollars. So we have $164,000. We're continuing to spend that. That's year 1 and 2 money. As we spend that down, they will send us another $93,000. No county matching dollars or anything. But I just wanted to make sure y'all knew we were still working on that, and we'll roll in when we get that new money, probably in August or something.
You're still working with MTSU on that?
Yes, MTSU is doing 2 of the programs, and we're also partnering with CADCOR, Community Drug Coalition. They're helping us with year 3 projects. So yeah, moving right along. Seen some great evidence-based results that have come out of those programs. And the last one, 55190, this is a totally reimbursed budget from the state, and so it gets all approved and figured out by the state accountants and then sent to us. And the county gets reimbursed for all of these dollars that we spend.
So these are their numbers?
Yes.
Provided by them?
Yes, yeah. The only part that we provide is just like what the insurance is gonna be and, that employment stuff.
You've talked to us before about revenue, and a lot of money comes from the state. And
Yes, yeah.
we talked about growing counties, and does that revenue go up, or have you got an answer for that?
Yeah, so our whole operating budget is $5.2 million. And the state provides a big chunk of that for us. The county provides $735,000 plus the dental budget. And so they have continued to, I looked into it after we talked last, they've given us a couple of new positions, staff positions, and they've also arranged for 2 new health education positions, 2 nursing positions. So they have given us quite a bit to help with the growth of what we've seen
So
in the
you've
county.
seen that revenue stream increase?
Yes,
Okay.
in the way of positions and supplies that we need.
Okay.
New computers and iPads and things like that we need to operate.
Very good, thank you.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, if I'm reading it right, your employee insurance went down?
Yes. And
Yeah,
on
explain
that.
the
That's an
55110 one, yes, I
Yeah.
know. I'm not
Is
sure.
that just from spouses moving off the plan?
I don't know. They give us a formula. Lisa, Ms. Nolan has a formula that, and we put in how many full-time employees we have and all that, and it pre-populates it for us.
Yeah. So your overall budget is, what, $8,000 less?
Less
Than last year?
year, yeah. And we had to increase just a little bit on one of the items.
Not
So.
making it hard to approve.
Okay, good.
All right,
Looks
ready?
like the state's chipping in an extra 27,000 over last year on a $2.3 million budget.
Yes,
The state's increasing, but they're not exactly throwing money at us in baskets, but
right.
I guess
And-
a position here and there will add up over
Yes,
time, but,
and one of the frustrating things with it is they want that budget to be just, it's a budget, so it's an estimate. If I have a nurse and she has 10 years experience and she leaves and I hire a nurse who has more years experience, the salary's gonna be a little, so they want me to amend that a lot, so I'll probably be coming to see you a lot with that this year, because they're like, amend that every time, and so a little bit more work on our part, but to keep that. But you're right, it's occasional increases. And a lot of those positions come on the state budget, which y'all don't see. That part's not here. So.
They probably want you to do your part of the changes immediately, and their part comes in 8 to 9 months.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
you figured this
Yeah,
out
yeah,
really
yeah.
well, and, yeah.
No, we're usually accepting their contracts and all, like in December for the
Yes,
previous year and
yes.
things like that.
They're trying to get better. They're already working on this year's contract. I was like, I was hoping to get it tonight, so I could maybe even take it, but no such luck, so.
Let me just ask you, Mayor Burgess, have you reviewed this?
Yes, we have. I mean, I think it's-
You have any
if-
questions
if
on
all
it
these
at all?
were like this, then we wouldn't have any problems.
That was gonna be my very next comment, that you're just to be commended, your department is, for bringing stuff like this. It's easy to understand and easily explained. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Is that in the form of a motion?
Yeah, I move that we approve forward onto the budget.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. All right, you've got a budget amendment?
Yes, the state had some leftover dollars that, according to what they told me, we were good stewards of our money, and we ended up with a $39,187 savings, they called it. And they sent it back to the county, and they said, we want you to use this in some kind of wellness initiative to help your community get well and stay well and be healthy. And so I met with the mayor and Ms. Nolan, and we have something here in our community called the Rutherford County Wellness Council. And y'all have heard me speak of it before, and some of you even have come and been guest speakers there for us. But this committee is all volunteers. It's got about 30 people on it, and they're all focused on trying to move our community to healthier. They do all kinds of initiatives and walks and runs, and we were the first in the state to have it. There's now a wellness council in every county across the state. And so us in Williamson were the first to have them. And so they've been there since 1996. And they meet and they do some really great things. We kind of, as the health department, just kind of facilitate them and help them along and tell them the data. Here's what you need to focus on. Here's some good evidence-based programs you might want to do. And I tell you all that because with this $39,000, what we're going to do is transfer that savings to this wellness council, and they're going to give out mini grants, $2,000 mini grants that places of faith or workplaces, whoever might want to do a wellness program that's evidence-based, they're going to give those grants out. So we thought that would be a good way to disperse this. Seems like a lot of money, but if you're trying to do something for the whole county, you'll know that's not a whole lot of money. So it would be a good way to have a lot of impactful programs all across the county and use that savings dollars. And then we can actually show the state, if anybody was to ever ask, here's the impact we had with that savings. I'm hopeful. They said it probably wouldn't happen, but if we show them good impact, maybe we could get more savings dollars brought back to us, and we could do that again.
Are you thinking about companies could do it like Bridgestone or?
Yeah, if they want it, it's a
Orthodontist.
pretty small grant for them.
Uh-huh.
So, I was thinking like churches or small
Community.
nonprofits or community agencies that might
Okay.
want to do a little program, and maybe they have a small staff and they want to get them off pedometers or, something like that. And those have been shown to really increase physical inactivity. This year, our statistics showed obesity went up, physical inactivity went down, smoking rates went up, all that in Rutherford County. It's, so we gotta keep attacking it because we think we're getting the word out, but we're still not doing what we need to be doing to get healthy.
All right, we need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Cook?
Aye.
Commissioner Dodd?
Yes.
Commissioner Gurley?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Allen?
Yes.
I think that's all of mine. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so
Appreciate you
much.
very much. Thank you.
All right, community care. Anyone share any with us? Ms. Carroll? Okay. Is your new person in place, your new administration in place?
Mayor, can you?
Yeah, we have a new administrator, Terry Bodkins, who started on April the 11th, so she's been there a couple of weeks now, and I think she's going to fit in very, very nicely. They're just elated to have her there with them now.
Very good.
I look forward next week to meeting her when we have our meeting next Thursday. And I look forward to big things happening.
Yeah. The detailed report's on your iPad if anybody has any questions about your report. If not, we'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very good.
Miss Madam Chairman, I forgot about one item. They have a lease, the community care leases that property from the county. We own it. And these leases are 4 years in term. So this 4-year term is up June the 30th of this year. So it needs to be renewed. I should have said 4 years. It's 5 years. These are 5-year renewals. So I'd like for this group to endorse the renewal of this lease beginning July the 1st of this year for another 5 years. If I need to get that done if we can.
Status quo, just like it.
Just like it is, there's no reason to change anything, I do not believe.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. All right, Ms. Jolly.
I added 2 new projects to the report this time, the Smyrna Middle renovation and the David Urey renovation design. And I put the,
What page you on?
page 5. And then on page 4, I've increased the budget on Rocky Fork Middle to the $31,932,000. And that y'all approved this March the 17th, I think. I don't really know why I didn't have it on the March report. But anyway, it's on this one. And that's the biggest thing that's changed on this one.
Motion to approve the report, if there's no questions of Ms. Jones.
Second.
Very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Casey.
Mr. Shandy, how are you?
I have 4 amendments tonight, 2 GPS amendments, centralized school cafeteria fund amendment, and building program. The first amendment, the GPS amendment, is for certified salaries and the extended contract payments. It reallocates $244,510 in already budgeted certified pay and $39,027 for related benefits, total of $283,537. It adjusts the budget to reflect the certified staff we have in place in spring 2016. The change in the assistant principal line, 72,410,139, is due to changes made at Smyrna Middle when another principal was named and we had covering illness at another school. Staffing changes at the alternative schools caused the change in line item 71,150, 116. And the system also plans to continue paying staff who were here in 2014 the flow-through amounts they've been receiving. And as these staff members retire, these payments will that's career ladder and all that is dropping quickly. This amendment is 0.15% of our total certified budget, which is nearly $160 million. Recommended motion to approve the 2015-16 general purpose school budget amendment, to amend the general purpose school budget by $244,510 in already budgeted certified pay and $39,027 for the related benefits, for a total of $283,537 as presented.
I think we can make them all together. Good.
Okay. The insurance amendment It reallocates $115,600 in already budgeted employee medical insurance. And the amended amounts reflect the actual insurance elections our staff made for the re-enrollment in January. Recommended motion to amend the 2015-16 general purpose school budget by medical insurance premiums as presented.
You're on a roll.
Okay, the centralized cafeteria fund. This amendment increases net cafeteria fund revenue by $267,482 and has a net adjustment in expenditures of $267,482. The net change to fund balance is zero. We've seen significant increases in food costs this year.
Where'd the revenue come from? Increased prices?
Well, no increase. We do not know our federal reimbursement rate when we adopt the budget. So
what are you saying, Jeff? Where does the revenue come from?
well, this is federal primarily.
And
Now,
it's-
we do have a price increase for next year because the feds, under the new act, are requiring us to increase it.
So the $267,000 is,
Primarily federal reimbursement.
and we know that, it's coming in?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
All
I looked at March results, so did some estimates based on that.
Okay.
Recommended motion to amend the 2015-16 cafeteria fund budget revenue by $267,482 and to increase net expenditures by a corresponding $267,482 as presented. Our building program amendment, and the dollars are big in these because when we approve a project, we often just have the dollars in one line. So as we buy furniture, as we pay architects, all that, we amend money around within that project.
So none of these are new funds, this is budgeted funds, you're just
Right.
allocated.
Yeah. We are closing out most of the Eagleville Phase 1 budget, $664,427, leaving nearly $50,000 for some site issues that we have not totally been resolved. And the odd remaining money in Blackman, Middle, and Smyrna primary projects, $413, not much there. The funds are being moved to 3 projects, $257,769 to the John Coleman Elementary project, $300,412 to design funds for a 2-story middle school design for the next middle school after Rocky Fork School,
Okay.
and $106,659 design funds for the next high school. This allocation was done, Eagleville has a 7/13 fraction of the money has been shared with the city of Murfreesboro. So it makes it more involved when we move money to or from Eagleville.
You know, I'm gonna have to explain that somewhere down the line.
Okay. The city has K-6. Since we are a K-12 system, they have, so 7 for Eagleville School, we have 13 grades there. But since the city has 7 of the same grades, so we have to share. Normally it's K-6 and to K-6, or with high school and 7th and 8th grade, we don't have to share, but we have to adjust whenever we've got a blended project. Middle school, we will have 6th, 7th, and 8th, so.
Everything has been taken care of at Eagle as far as Phase 1's concerned, other than that outside project.
Yes, yes.
And the gravel parking lot and things like that.
That's what Gary had to keep that money for.
Okay.
Yeah. If anything else comes up, we'll cover it, but he felt that was more than enough to cover it.
Okay.
Okay?
Just checking.
Sure. And just the John Coleman Elementary School project, as the plans were redrawn and all, more things got fit in, and we probably should have upped the furniture equipment technology budget at that point. We did not. So that's what this is specifically going for. And you may have seen there was some discussion to changing the design for the Rocky Fort School to a 2-story structure. We did not have enough time to be confident we could open it August of 2017. if we made, it was about a 2-month delay. That was just pushing it too much. So that's why we are proposing, since often we don't get the approval that far out on a school. That's why we wanted to go ahead while we had some money available, have these design funds so we could take the time, get our architect as we're working on Rocky Ford, and move forward for that next middle school once y'all approve it. Just have the plans in place.
So the 2 months isn't necessarily in construction time, that's design time.
Design time, yeah. And we just were afraid we would not be able to open it in August.
Don't we use some of the same designs?
Yes,
repeated?
oh yes, we do, yes ma'am. And this new 2-story design is the one we would be reusing after that.
We haven't built a truly 2-story middle school yet, have we? I mean,
No,
we've
no.
done some 2-story additions, but
Right.
we haven't done them.
Yeah.
That'll be,
Yeah.
that's why you have to
Right,
design it.
yeah, and we just want to go ahead and have plenty of time to get that done, so next time we build one.
Plan ahead.
And the 106,659, that is high school money, so, or 712 money, so I just stuck it in a high school project. The cleanup amendment is the yellow column on the spreadsheet that y'all have. And that is just cleanup within projects. And the big one is you'll see 4.1 million for John Coleman. Well, it's moving money out of that one construction line item, just to the different lines, site development, architects, furniture, fixtures, equipment, all that. So the dollars are big, but it's just cleanup within these projects. No new money is involved, keeping the money in the same project. So our recommended motion is to amend $664,427 remaining in the Eagleville Phase 1 project, and the remaining $413 in the Blackman Middle and Smyrna primary projects to 3 projects. $257,769 to the John Coleman Elementary project, $300,412 for design funds for a 2-story middle school design for the next middle school after Rocky Ford, and $106,659 in design funds for the next high school, and to amend a total of $4,764,962 in already budgeted funds to the individual line items as presented for the Roy Waldron edition, John Coleman edition, Oakland Middle Annex, and Rocky Fork Elementary School.
The John Coleman project of $300,000, or is it 257?
Yeah, 257.
257. Those funds weren't available, left over from Eagleville or whatever. Those funds weren't available. What would you do?
We would get them somewhere. We figured, it looked as though, as we came to this realization, it looked as though we would have some money left at Eagleville. So we've kind of been, that's been in the back of our mind, is the way we would handle it. We would have handled it. The scope of the project changed on us, and I don't know, and there were also, once we got into it, some of the things that we were thinking we typically would move over, we really came to the decision, some of the technology in particular, some of that, it was old enough, we did not want to move it over.
Just the thought that's running through my mind, I understand you may be a little bit short on some maintenance money or any of those types of things this year for existing buildings. This couldn't be used for that?
We feel it needs to be used at John Coleman.
Okay, I just asking.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And this is 20-year borrowed money. We would not want to use that for a maintenance project.
okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
Yeah.
The school designs too, there's 2 of them in there?
It's just to place parking money until we have approval to go on with that next high school, because it's the right mix. That is all unshared money. We can't, I'm always very careful in the amendments we bring. We keep shared money that has been shared with the city of Murfreesboro separate. So we'll park it in a different project, just to keep that mix right.
the question that's coming next, you probably are you're catching some stuff that you probably don't need to, but I'm concerned that if we approve this, then we're actually beginning to approve the process of 2 new schools that we haven't
No,
heard anything at all
we're
about.
not, no, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll have to approve the design of that school at that point in time.
Mhm.
And you'll be able to say, well, I've already got
Yes, mhm.
$300,000,
Yeah,
$412
yeah,
in that
mhm.
account.
Yeah,
Because-
it's just if we don't, people other than me have ignored that mix of money at times. And we don't need to do it.
Yeah, I'm just asking those questions,
Yeah.
Jeff. What if the school board brings a construction plan and these monies are set aside for that product, that building project, and this commission says, no, we're not gonna do it.
Mhm.
What happens to those funds at that time?
At that point, we would apply them to something that the commission would approve.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just temporary parking of already borrowed money.
I'm gathering something that it seems that, I mean, it's a novel idea, but it seems like once we ever approve any money for school projects, we've never seen any money. Unlike the health department where you get some money back, you save some money. It sounds like once we allocate some funds, it always gets found another use for it. Is that
When we are getting 1,200, 1,300 students a year, we pretty much have a school going most years.
This is borrowed money, and in our
Mhm.
write-up now, when we borrow the money goes for capital expenditure and what it's listed for. We can't take that money and pay school teachers with it.
No, oh, no.
You know, we can't do something else with that money that is not a capital expenditure, that's
It's
something
a
we wanna
capital.
do over 20 years.
Yeah.
And it is the best thing to do, to keep that money pigeonholed, or if not, we'll end up double sharing.
Yes.
You throw it back in the pot,
Yeah.
and then next time you pull it back out, the city of Murfreesboro
Yeah.
gets
Yeah.
ka-ching their share all over
Yeah.
again. So,
Yeah.
it gets a little fuzzy,
It
but after being around here a while, I understand what you're doing, but
we're
it does
just
look a
parking
little-
capital funds
Yeah, in the category
that they belong in.
if they belong in, yeah. It's something
Although
we routinely.
There is a history, long way
Of
back.
course, of course.
I remember I heard a story one time about, the commission was asked to approve, or a kind of brick or something for something, and that inadvertently approved the project. You know, and they built a school somewhere that never was actually approved. They just approved the brick, or something like that. But I remember hearing a story from an ex-school board member I knew back in the 70s, that was a way around the commission sometimes. So, you know, you could look at it and say, hey, well, we've approved to put the design funds there, move forward. But we've got a better situation hopefully now than we had 30 years ago with trust between the school board and the county commission.
Yeah.
Any more questions? I'll entertain a motion. Not everybody at once.
I make a motion to approve the amendments as presented by Mr. Sandy.
Second.
You need a roll call?
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Dodd?
Yes.
Commissioner Gurley?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Allen?
Yes.
And we will see you all on Monday, May 23rd, 5 o'clock. Bring supper. At the
Your
central
office.
office. So there are 2 pages in this set.
I've got Tuesday, May 24th.
But I had it was the 24th.
Then maybe I have a meeting, maybe Joyce has another meeting for us on the
We moved it.
23rd.
I need
Yeah.
to know. You know?
Yeah, let me check.
It's our regular scheduled meeting
Right.
day.
Yeah.
It's the
Right.
24th.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I've got 5:30 joint meeting. Is it?
I was gonna ask him about the time though, cause did you have a graduation that
okay.
night? Cause I know last time, I think we wished we had backed it up 30 minutes.
And actually, it's a school board meeting we have in case we have to do anything with the budget that night, I'm sorry.
Should we back it up to 5 from 5:30? Do you have a graduation that night? Was it our last time Mr.
I
Odom
don't
had to,
keep the
had to
graduations
rush
on
out?
mine. It is at 5:30, I'm sorry.
Is it 5:30?
Yeah, the meeting on Monday, the school board meeting's at 5, I was
This
mistaken.
is on Tuesday.
Tuesday, May 24th,
At 5:30.
5:30.
At the school.
At
At
school.
the school.
Mhm.
Now, the reason I asked you about that, I didn't want to explain 7/13.
I know.
I am the commencement speaker at their
Oh,
graduation
well.
this year, and I did not want to.
The Eagleville ones are the hardest to do because it's fairly, when it's a middle school, it's 1/3 and 2/3. Eagleville is always a challenge, but if you would take one page is the cafeteria fund budget, and the second page, and they're formatted differently, yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, is the capital projects listing for Fund 177. And then there's a clip set. I should have clipped them all together, I'm sorry. And then just for y'all to look over. And we did not have our BEP numbers when we did this, so we will have some changes coming. I don't think anything major, but we got the BEP numbers after working hours Friday.
How do they look? Can you tell you?
Oh, good, yeah. mhm.
Jim,
Yeah.
is this the first item you just,
Yeah, yes, the two-sided is the capital projects that Mr. Clardy is asking for. And the one page is the cafeteria fundamental. And then normal format that we have, there's a 4-page summary, and then there's the 31-page detailed budget. Kitty, what?
Not yet, I see, they probably have some extra here.
How many
Lisa
times will
has-
this change
Oh,
between
Lisa has-
now and May 23rd?
Pardon?
How many times will this change between now and
I don't
May
know.
23rd?
This is Fund 143.
No tier.
Fund 143.
No tier.
No
Have
tier.
two.
But I could put them in if you want. There's actually commissioners who wanted them.
Okay, what should we have besides Fund 143? Because that's all we got left with down here is Fund 143.
The one page is Fund 140,
Okay.
and then the page behind
Right, are we just two
is
pages?
capital
Is that all we need?
projects.
That's all I have, is
Yes.
these two original pages.
Yes,
I've got one capital project.
Right.
See this one?
you should have
Who's on
a,
first?
Target and average,
Oh, no, wait, no, there's another capital project. Maybe that's wrong.
because it's 11?
the capital projects is two-sided.
No.
Okay,
The
right.
default of our
Should be on the
copier is
same
now
page.
No, this is
two-sided.
the one, I have this one, the one thing.
Okay,
The one supposed to have
okay.
two pages?
Yes,
Okay.
two pages.
All right, very nice.
They've added
And then
several
the
different
4-page,
directors and assistant
31
directors.
These are
page
extras.
detail.
These are extras too.
Four.
Did you?
So,
We do
y'all,
not agree with it, yes?
and if whatever changes are made, we will try to get copies out to y'all before then. Our next board meeting is the 5th, and our next scheduled budget meeting, because we were supposed to get these estimates way back, is May 11th.
These are the numbers that we presented, consolidated
Yeah.
budget that we give to you May 5th.
I go to the spring fiscal conference, and I will find out if there are any gotchas in the new BEP formula. There have been some significant changes, so.
You ready to hear about it? Any more questions for Mr. Sammy? You good? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jeff.
One more thing.
Sure.
I can talk to Ms. Nolan.
Absolutely.
So I told you that we were gonna have to be doing some changes on the tobacco funds, the grant money that we get. So after speaking with her, she said we needed to reallocate some of the funds in that. It's no county dollars, it's just that tobacco grant, but just to clean up the line items and where the money is spent out of. So would like to take an amendment to the budget committee when I get it all straightened out. Would that be okay?
We know one's coming.
Yeah.
Just let you know that when it's coming, it's gonna be within the function. It's not gonna be any new, it's just reallocating
Because the state's,
dollars are.
you know, wanting us to go ahead and get the programs going, and I have to wait to bring the amendment back here before I can take it back there. It'll delay us quite a few weeks before we can start our program.
So what's the amendment gonna be?
We're moving some funds from contracted agency, because the funds that we were using for MTSU, we had already allocated, and we don't need those anymore. And we're gonna put them down into other supplies and, materials and other charges.
You need a motion to do that.
I do.
I'll move to approve that.
Thank you,
I'll second
Second.
that.
thank you.
We don't need a roll call for that, do we?
It's budget amendment.
Yeah, it is.
It'll be an amendment, we'll have the dollars cleaned up. And it-
Just authorize her to go straight
To
on the
raise the
budget without coming back to this
Yeah.
group here with the budget amendment or alcoholic drug tobacco program.
Yes.
No. Okay, we don't need a roll call. All in favor? Any opposed? Very good.
Okay, thank you for letting me
Nice
come back
catch,
again.
Michelle. All right, is there any more business for this group? All right, we stand adjourned.
Good job, Chairman.